Bulabinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rock.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, police record surge in petty crimes. Man found guilty of raping neighbour. And Veremalua wants winning start for Fiji Sevens.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Amrita Sagar.
It was a historical moment for the country and one which every Fijian should be proud of when Prime Minister assumed the COP23 presidency earlier this month. The meeting in Bonn, Germany ended on a high note last weekend. Minister responsible for climate change, Ayaz Said Kayum, says more funding has been secured for climate adaptation and global partnerships have been launched to provide millions of climate vulnerable people affordable access to insurance. He adds Fiji is now a global leader and has accomplished more than what state parties had expected from us. The minister has also slammed critics that are opposing the work done at the COP23, adding these are only political points.
We can also see how this has also meant at the domestic level some real direct assistance for Fiji in respect of whether it's insurance, whether it's our ability to be able to get more assistance for climate-related matters, whether it's to build the intellectual capital that is essential for us to be able to deal with these matters, but also at the very practical level some of the infrastructure projects that of course will be getting off the ground.
Petty crimes are on the increase, with police now confirming a spike in cases where commuters and car owners have been targeted. Police Chief of Operations ACP Rusiati Tundravu says they've increased their surveillance to counter the surge in criminal activities. Maggie Boyle with the story.
Recent robberies has seen the resurfacing of a particular petty crime trend.
They prey on drivers, commuters when they queue on the main roads, and then when they saw them with their mobiles or valuable items that are displayed on the desktop or within the seat.
ACP Tundravu says several countermeasures have been put in place.
There's a lot of snap roadblocks going around in almost around the country. Mobile patrols, increase in foot patrols, visitation at daytimes by community policing.
He is urging the public to be vigilant and to keep their valuables secure. FBC News spoke to a few people in Suva on what safety measures they're taking to avoid being mugged.
I always make sure I put it inside my bag, which is zip.
Usually when I hold onto my purse, I don't usually put my money in my purse. It's usually in my pocket or where girls usually put it in their bra.
I just keep my bag closed, the zip, because that is where it happens the most.
Only this week, a 17-year-old student was arrested for trying to rob a passenger on the bus of their mobile phone while he was getting off. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
A 29-year-old man of Nosori has been found guilty of 1 count of rape and 1 count of indecent assault by the Suva High Court. Judge Justice Vincent Pereira concurred with the 3 assessors' opinion this afternoon and convicted the man. He will be sentenced tomorrow. The man raped his 15-year-old neighbor on February 13th last year and indecently assaulted her 2 months later. The father of 2 has been remanded in custody. The public are being urged to remain vigilant as the trough of low pressure with associated cloud and rain over Fiji is temporarily moving northwards. The trough, however, is expected to drift south again over Fiji on Tuesday and affect the northern parts of the country before spreading to the rest of the group. Commissioner Central Setere Kitale says those living in low-lying areas should not become complacent. Anna Ravulo reports.
With heavy rain warnings still in place, those living in flood-prone areas are being warned to remain alert.
We've witnessed this in the last couple of days, the rise in the river levels. Yesterday especially, even when the rain had subsided, we noted that the river levels continued to rise. And this could cause problems if you are not careful.
Tale says parents should also do their part as children are always inquisitive when there is flooding.
I know the communities know their vicinity as well, they know their locality as well. It would be advisory to remain vigilant over this period, especially now that the kids are on school breaks, to monitor the kids, their whereabouts.
We are just requesting the parents and guardians just to be aware, be vigilant enough, take care of the children. We are doing our part from the police side, but it's a two-way.
The Commissioner Central's office says they already have a contingency plan in place in case of any emergency. Anna Rovulo, FBC News.
A recent survey conducted by the Fiji Women's Rights Movement reveals that more men are involved in criminal activities when compared to women. Rachel Nath reports in the last 4 years, over 23,000 criminal cases were brought before the Fiji courts, of which over 19,000 accused persons were males.
The Legal Aid Commission represented 85% of men in relation to criminal cases last year alone.
2012 to 2016 assisted twice as many men as women, and like I said before, this is due to the majority of accused being men in criminal cases, and they have also represented 6,000 women and initiated family law or domestic violence restraining order cases in Fiji court.
Due to the increase in cases, the Commission has more than doubled its staff, and in doing so, a number of gender equality training sessions have been conducted.
Our trainings in which the members of the bench come in for the lawyers in terms of broadening our knowledge in terms of representation in court.
Salatina Sendra says the Commission aims to ensure no one is left behind.
In terms of rural areas such as in Mombasa, in the Western Division, we have resources in terms of vehicle that the Legal Aid Commission has. If they cannot come to the office, we ensure that these vehicles are used.
Last year alone, over 12,000 cases were represented by the Commission, of which 53 were criminal cases, 30 were family law cases, and 16 were civil cases. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
Still to come, touchscreen voting machines for elections office. And abuse of e-ticketing cards worry bus companies. Stay with us.
Moala rarada ranavika, o tikongona taunu singatoka, ando talitaka na wakaronga ng Bula FM, number 2 na serre.
Ya dora chubuni kurnambili, ibora ni batukara hambara binaranga, do talitakina na wakaronga ng Bula FM, number 2 na serre. Bula!
Bula FM, number 2 na serre.
And a first of its kind for Fiji, 53 touchscreen voting machines have been handed to the Elections Office to assist in trade union elections. The handover was done in Suva this morning between the FEO and the Association of World Electoral Bodies. Akosita Tale with the details.
These state-of-the-art touchscreen machines will reduce the stress and commotion in trade union elections, and it will assist in a much faster and efficient poll. This means trade union elections can be conducted much quicker with more efficiency and requiring less resources.
Automation of trade union elections will definitely improve on the transparency and the efficiency of the process. Trade unions also present us an ideal opportunity to introduce innovative enhancement at a smaller scale to test its feasibility.
Chances of fake ballot papers being used will be eliminated as the machine only recognizes papers that have unique barcodes. Human error will also be minimized in the counting process as the machines will tabulate and print results instantly.
The Electoral Commission welcomes the FEO's futuristic approach in exploring what's out there in the market and ensuring that Fiji is not left behind in this state of an age of information enhancement.
The machines will only be used in trade union elections and not in next year's general election. Fiji is now on par with developed nations such as the US, Australia and Belgium in terms of using ICT in elections. Akosita Tale, FBC News.
The abuse of e-ticketing system was one of the major issues highlighted by bus companies during their meet with the Independent Bus Fare Review Committee. Committee Chair Joel Abraham says 8 bus companies have so far brought this issue to their attention. Sainiani Boyla tells us more.
More reports of commuters misusing the e-ticketing cards have surfaced during the Independent Bus Fare Review Committee's consultations.
One instance yesterday where one bus operator said that the feedbacks that they got, there wasn't one person that had the disability card that they were using, and he got on and he tapped the card, and according to the driver he looked very fit and healthy. So the driver asked him, "Sir, what sort of disability do you have?" And then he replied, he said, "I'm deaf."
Shaw Buses Limited Executive Director Jasper Singh is appealing to the Land Transport Authority to help resolve this problem.
There are various levels of abuse, and we just plead to LTA if they can enforce what they promised, that they will be at the bus stations and various hotspots where they can see that all this is minimized or stopped.
The committee is expected to meet other bus companies in the coming days. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
So the High Court Judge, Justice Riaz Hamza, is expected to sum up the case involving the 33-year-old man who allegedly raped his stepdaughter on Monday. Justice Hamza was to sum up the case today, but he said there are a lot of evidence that he has to go through. The 33-year-old man is charged with 2 counts of rape. It is alleged he raped his de facto partner's adopted daughter on March 16th in Navua. And in world news, former Vice President of Zimbabwe, Emmerson Mnangagwa, has returned to the country 2 days before he is due to be sworn in as leader. He fled to South Africa after Robert Mugabe sacked him, a move which triggered the military takeover and resulted in Mugabe's resignation yesterday. Ahead in sports, with Jamie, Takeawa daughters dominate judo team to the mini-games. But up next is Rachel with business.
Thanks, Amrita. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. Increase in visitor arrivals recorded last month. And in growing Fiji New Bridge, a step forward for children of Soso village. Stay with us.
Bulavinaka, I'm Anare Sorbakroa of Nayabu Wenibuga Telebu. Whenever I want to tune in to listen to great music, I always tune in to my favorite radio station, Gold FM, only the classic.
My name is Lita. We love listening to Gold FM here at the Fiji Hideaway Resort and Spa. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
We here at Kano Waterfront Lautoka love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Business tonight, provisional numbers released by the Bureau of Statistics shows an increase of 6.2% in visitor arrivals for last month. Over 78,000 visitors arrived in Fiji in October, of which around 77% were here for holiday purposes. There were increases in arrivals from New Zealand, United States of America, Europe continent and the rest of Asia. Decreases were recorded in arrivals from Australia, China and Canada. And we now join Sharon from HFC Bank with the latest from the trading world.
Thank you. Let's look at some of the interesting developments in the financial markets today. This morning, we saw the US dollar lose its ground against both safe haven and risky currencies. The release of the Federal Reserve's November meeting minutes showed that policymakers were concerned about subdued inflation. Also, new orders for US-made capital goods as well as durable goods orders unexpectedly fell in October. The US dollar fell to its lowest level since October, marking its worst one-day performance in 5 months. But on the other hand, we saw the gold prices rise off the back of falling greenback. In other news, tonight we will see some macroeconomic data released by the Eurozone and the European Central Bank's monetary policy meeting accounts early tomorrow morning. We also have some important trade data for New Zealand tomorrow, so we'll have to wait and see how our Kiwi trades after that release. And that's all for now, Rachel.
Thanks, Sharon. Looking at today's current exchange rates set each morning for the Fijian dollar. Our dollar was up against the Chinese yuan, the US dollar and the PNG kina, but dropped slightly against the Australian and New Zealand dollars, the euro and the Japanese yen. As for the commodities market, oil prices rose to close at $57.99 a barrel. Gold rose closing at $1,290.65 per ounce, and silver dropped to close at $10.08 an ounce. In Ingor in Fiji tonight, the children of Soso village that belong to the Naviti Tekina in the Yasawas will now be able to attend school every day despite adverse weather conditions. This after the opening of a new bridge that will connect the village to the school. Due to climate change and other natural disasters, the creek that separates the village from the school was identified as a risk to the children. Around 84 students are attending the Ratu Apamisa Primary School.
We worked closely with the Turani Koro, and then we thank the Tuinaviti who resides in this village that he has accepted the project to be built for the children.
And that's business this evening. Now to sports. Here's Jamie.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. Up ahead in sports, Verumalu admits Australia poses a real threat in its pool, and young taekwondo athlete ready to take on the world. This and more coming up.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकु रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1. इट्स सो हॉट.
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे. मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट.
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफरेकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं. मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट. आई लव मिर्ची एफएम.
हमें स्पिन टोटो ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे.
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट.
Olympian and seasoned campaigner Tsasa Verumalu says the Fiji Airways national sevens team needs a win in Dubai to set the tone for its series campaign, but adds it won't be easy, especially being pooled with Australia. Felipe Naikaso has more.
Task at hand, the veteran forward knows a big performance is needed.
I've been working hard on my fitness and defense, and help the boys in preparing for the game in Dubai and Cape Town.
The skill level that he has got, but more so the mentality, the tough mentality that he has to lead a group of players as well. I think that leadership quality will come through in the way he plays.
The 29-year-old believes it won't be an easy tournament, especially during the pool stages.
We've been playing against Australia. We know that we've lost 3 times and we're playing against them. We're on the same pool in Dubai.
Fiji is pooled with Russia, Wales and Australia. The Dubai Sevens kicks off next Friday. Felipe Naikaso, FBC Sports.
Fiji Airways flying Fijians coach John McKee will make a few changes to his run-on team for the match against Canada on Sunday. McKee plans to rest some regular players in order to test his bench. However, he does not expect a drop in the overall performance of the team. Vasnil Prasad reports.
Now Jolo picks it up.
Flying Fijian center Chalewa Tumbua and Lok Api Ratuniarawa will miss the last autumn tour test match against Canada on Sunday.
There's a couple of players who heavy workload in the first 2 games. We've got niggly injuries, so we'll rest those players. And there's other players who have been training very well and didn't play last week, who will come into the picture this week.
Few other regular players could be rested for the game. Coach John McKee expects his side to display an improved game, basically from the breakdowns.
Been working on firstly the ball carrier, working very hard through the contact and using leg drive.
Close losses against Italy and Ireland. These players will put in their all to secure a win in the final test match.
What I really emphasise to the players that we want to finish this tour playing well. I'll be happy with a good win in which we play well.
Fiji plays Canada at 6 a.m. on Sunday. Vasnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Only a few days out from its test against Wales, and All Blacks captain Kieran Reid is in doubt again. Reid is still recovering from a hard hit-out against Scotland last weekend and is being rested. Meanwhile, if that wasn't concerning enough for the camp has been hit with another case of the mumps. Despite a shortfall in financial support, Fiji Taekwondo has managed to reap the rewards of its development programs. 17-year-old Anega Narayan has qualified to compete at the World Championships in Korea next month. Eroni Tuinuku reports.
It's a stepping stone for Fiji Taekwondo Association to be part of the World Championship.
It's a really proud opportunity for me to go to Korea and represent Fiji, and all I want to say is that I wish that a lot of people join.
Young Anega Narayan is already living her dreams as she prepares for her first world stage event.
Well, I'm very, very proud of her. She's doing well, and so that's why she's been chosen. And on top of that, I very much appreciate Fiji Taekwondo Association for giving her a chance to do all these things.
Learning from the best, Narayan's hard work has paid off after she qualified to the championship.
Fifth Korea Ambassador Championship she is last year winner, and then she can go to final is in Korea.
Fiji Taekwondo is calling on for more support as they slowly begin to get recognized in the world. Eroni Tuinuku, FBC Sports.
The Takeawa name has long been synonymous with the sport of judo in Fiji. Former Fijian Olympians, the late Viliame Takeawa and son Nathanieli, both dominated the sport locally and in the region during their prime. Now a new generation of Takeawas are making a name for themselves, this time dominating the national judo team that will participate at the Pacific Mini Games in Vanuatu next month. Eroni Tuinuku has more.
The family legacy continues as 3 Takeawa names have been selected in the national judo team to compete in Vanuatu next month.
My daughter, Nathalie Takeawa and Shanice, and the third member is the uncle Nemani Takeawa.
The 3 athletes have been training overseas ahead of the competition.
They're currently training in Japan. And they return next week. They've been sent to Japan for a 1-month training.
Meanwhile, Team Fiji has been given the opportunity to do a unique performance at the opening ceremony.
We leave that as a surprise for you to see it on TV when you see the opening ceremony. We have yet to tell this to our athletes and officials, and we will be having our practice session.
201 athletes and officials will be part of the mini games next month. Eroni Tuinuku, FBC Sports.
The Tongan side that will face England in the Rugby League World Cup semi-final has been hit with an injury concern. 80 rugby teams have converged in the capital city for the inaugural Raka Sevens tournament, which kicks off tomorrow at the ANZ Stadium. 64 men's and 16 women's teams will be battling for top spot, as the winner for the women's division will walk away with $5,000 cash, while the men's champion will receive $25,000 in prize money. Meli Tavanga reports.
The countdown for the much-anticipated Raka Sevens has begun as the tournament trophies were unveiled this morning.
What we have here is the first ever Raka Sevens trophy, and this will be given to each individual player and management team to take away as their very own, to signify Fiji's first ever Raka Sevens.
Major sponsor Huawei Technologies is happy to be associated with one of Fiji's international rugby meets.
We couldn't have thought to have partnered with a better event. This is our first foray into Fiji in terms of sponsorships, and to have an event like this to be part of is truly tremendous.
Tournament director Ropati Kaubesi says a lot of thought has gone into ensuring the event leaves minimum impact on the natural surroundings.
And when in the crowd there's live entertainment, there's free stuff to be given out by BLK, and just the excitement of getting the tournament so for people to enjoy both.
Meanwhile, food vendors at the two-day tournament have been asked to recycle and reuse plastics and plastic food containers, as tournament organizers are showing support in the fight against climate change. Meli Tavanga, FBC Sports.
Today's play of the day comes from the Australian women's football team and its win over China in Melbourne last night. Samantha Kerr netted an out-of-this-world strike in the 63rd minute to seal the Matildas' 3-0 win. That's it from sports tonight. Join Angie later on with weather and in new media. We take a look at a keyboard that you can wear like brass knuckles. That's right after the break.
Bula, kera mai singa toka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoi Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Si kombinasyon mo tikola ndo talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kina Domoi Viti.
Ayaw ko yazo sila tale, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu pinasibale, nagudurong varorong na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoi Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoi Viti na bonga ni BNN.
In new media, Tap, a startup that makes wearables, has made a Bluetooth finger strap that turns your hands into a keyboard. Let's get the latest on weather with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. A much clearer day today than the usual rainy ones we've been having for the past 3 days. And also, a strong wind warning remains in force for all Fiji waters. In the west, a very cloudy day with thunderstorms. Eastwards, from Peck Harbour to Suva, an overcast one with few showers. Expect more later tonight. And up north, a not-so-sun-filled day. At sea, southeast winds 20 to 25 knots with rough seas. And for the tides, high tide tonight will be at 10:32 with low tide tomorrow morning at 4:56. See the beauty of sunrise at 6:21. For tomorrow, we're expecting showers to roll our way in the afternoon with possible flooding in low-lying areas, so do take care. Tomorrow's temps, Suva will be the coolest with highs of 29 degrees. And looking further on to Saturday, we could possibly experience light showers. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. I'm Rita.
And on Fijian Pulse today, we asked the school students, what are your plans for the school holidays?
Bathing in the river and following friends, go to Katpa Woods.
Staying at the village with my parents and following friends, just helping my parents.
My plans for school holidays, just to spend my holidays with my family and spend my holidays with my family and have fun with them.
Right now I'm looking for a holiday job so that I can earn some money and nothing much, just the usual thing, stay at home with my family.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, a 2014 study by the World Health Organization concluded that there are 400 million people around the world living with diabetes. One of the many complications of diabetes is the prevalence of foot ulcers, which, if untreated, can lead to amputations and, in many cases, death. But a simple scanner being developed in Britain can give some important warning for doctors. Recapping the main stories, police record surge in petty crimes. Man found guilty of raping neighbour. And Veremalua wants winning start for Fiji Sevens. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. To our poll question, this week we are asking, are you impressed with the commitment shown by countries post-COP23? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day, sent in by Tevita Dakuyao. The sunset was captured at Suva Point. And we'd like to encourage all our viewers to send in more pictures of our beautiful Fiji. Whether it's our tropical flowers, stunning waterfalls, maybe a visiting cruise ship or even your favorite pet. Just send them through to email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page FBC News, or you can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. And that was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, have a safe evening. Bye for now.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Usi ko minasong butikola ndo talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kina Domoy Viti.
Kaya kuyazo sila tale, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu Venezuela, nagundur rongo, barong na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti na ponga ni BNN.